Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you all are safe and healthy. So today's target is to complete two case studies, case study number 15 and 16. We have already covered a lot of MCQs, a lot of case scenarios. In case you have not seen those videos, please check out the description box below. I have given the link of the playlist where you can find out all the relevant videos related to audit, law and some other subjects as well. So in case you have not seen any of those videos, please check them out. Okay, so let's begin with case study number 15 first. Case study number 15 is on page number 154 of the booklet. Okay, in case you want to take out your own booklet, you can get that. Otherwise, you can just see on the screen and solve the MCQs along with me. Okay, so let's begin with question number 15, which is Messrs. QS and Associates, Chartered Accountants, a Chennai-based audit firm, had taken up the following assignments for the year so and so: to conduct the management audit of Messrs. BR Limited, to conduct the operational audit of Messrs. SI Limited, which is a subsidiary of BR Limited. So we have BR Limited and we have a subsidiary of BR Limited, which is SI Limited. So the management auditor of BR Limited is the operational auditor of SI Limited. Okay. Now the statutory audit of Messrs. I General Insurance Limited, the company has paid up share capital of 15,000 lakhs, which means it is having 150 crores of 150 crores. One second. Paid up share capital, which is exceeding 100 crores. 100 crores is the limit, that is the minimum paid up capital required to for a company to be called as an insurance company. So definitely they are exceeding the limit. So yes, this is a general insurance company, which includes preliminary expenses of 3,400 lakhs, which means that in this 150 we have, in this 150 we have 34 crores of preliminary expenditure. Still it is going to be exceeding 100 crores, which means yes, this is this is an insurance company. If you remember, insurance company ke liye the minimum capital, paid up share capital required is 100 crores, and that 100 crores we have to exclude the preliminary expenses amount. So after excluding also, this is more than 100 crores. So definitely this is an insurance company, eligible hai. Next is, during the course of audit of the company, there was a difference of opinion between the auditors and the management with respect to minimum amount of solvency margin. So what is the minimum amount of solvency margin? The minimum amount hota hai aapka 50% of the minimum capital required as per the relevant section of insurance companies. So इस केस में अगर हम देखें तो 50% of the minimum, 50% of minimum means 50 crores, क्योंकि 100 crores minimum होता है, 100 crores का 50% हो जाएगा 50 crores. So 50 crores is the solvency margin, which is the minimum. Now that needs to be maintained by the company. So इस पर उनका क्या हो गया, difference of opinion हो गया. इस difference of opinion को solve करते हैं. तो solve करने के लिए simple है, 50 crores is the minimum amount of solvency margin that needs to be maintained by the company. However, the issue was later settled. Issue later settled भी हो गया, बहुत अच्छी बात है. Let's move further. The auditor of a listed company had resigned due to his personal reason. The board of directors of the company had appointed Messrs. QS and Associates as replacement within 30 days. So whenever an auditor resigns, how do you fill that casual vacancy? In case of casual vacancy, by resignation, the casual vacancy has to be filled up by the board within a period of 30 days, and that appointment or that filling up of vacancy has to be approved by the company in the general meeting within a period of how many months? Within a period of 3 months. Right, so this is the correct answer, because this is just a listed company, this is not a government company. नहीं तो CAG की involvement आ जाती, but यहाँ पे CAG की involvement नहीं आएगी, because it's just a listed public company. Now in this particular case, the vacancy has to be filled by the board within a period of 30 days. तो बिल्कुल ठीक ही है, but this has to be approved at the general meeting within a period of 3 months. Now the firm also accepted the assignment without communicating about the same to the previous auditor. ओहो, यहाँ पर QN Associates क्या होगी, professional misconduct कर दिया उन्होंने. Why? Because they have not communicated to the previous auditor that they have been appointed as the auditors for the particular year. Now this is the non-compliance, and this non-compliance is part of professional misconduct under which clause, which schedule and which part. So it is a misconduct under first schedule part 1 clause number 8, right. So clause 8 इसके ऊपर लग जाता है, पार्ट आपका 1 है, स्केड्यूल भी आपका 1 है. तो इसके अंदर आपका जो सीए है वो गिल्टी माना जाएगा. Now, at a later point, certain shareholders of the firm opposed the appointment, but the issue was solved afterwards. Okay. तो शेयर होल्डर्स ने अपोज क्यों किया होगा? क्योंकि 3 मंथ्स के अंदर अंदर आपने क्या नहीं करवाया होगा, अप्रूवल नहीं लिया होगा, और अगर ले लिया था तो इसीलिए वो सेटिस्फाई भी हो गए होंगे. Now, statutory auditors of Messrs FGH, a private limited company having paid up share capital of 112 lakhs and a negative balance of 15 lakhs in the reserves, after a long discussion between the auditors and the management of the company with respect to applicability of CARO, both of them arrived at a conclusion. So what do you think they must have arrived at a conclusion on? So if in case of a private company, you know, if we talk about the applicability of CARO, in case the private company is having, यहाँ पर हमें paid up share capital के बारे में, यहाँ पर स्पेसिफिकली पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल के बारे में बोला हुआ है. तो पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल की अगर मैं बात करूँ तो पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल के केस में यू हैव टू सी वेदर द पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल इज एक्सीडिंग 1 crore और नॉट. इफ इट्स नॉट, देन कारो इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल ऑन दिस प्राइवेट कंपनी. नाउ इफ वी सी पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल इंक्लूड्स द रिजर्व्स ऑल्सो, एंड यहाँ पर आपका रिजर्व्स क्या है, नेगेटिव बैलेंस है, विच मीन्स 112 minus 15 is going to be your paid up share capital, which means it is coming out to be 97 lakhs. 97 lakhs is your paid up share capital, which is less than 1 crore, which implies that CARO is not applicable on this private company. If you remember, private company के case में we have to see 3 limits: paid up share capital, borrowings and the turnover. So here the reference of paid up share capital is given, so we will just check about the paid up share capital limit, and which is not exceeding, which means the CARO is not applicable, right? So let's move on to the questions of this case study. The case scenario was very small in size, and I didn't find this case scenario to be a little technical, so it was an easy one. So let's see how they have framed the questions from this case scenario. Let's solve the first question. What is the minimum solvency margin that has to be maintained by Messrs I General Insurance Limited as per section 64 VA of Insurance Act? So this we have already solved, that 100 crores is the minimum. 100 crores का 50% is to be maintained at least, तो 50 crores आपका आंसर हो जाएगा. This we have already discussed, तो the correct answer is 50 crores, A option. Next question is, what could be the possible reason for the objections raised by the shareholders? तो shareholders ने objection क्यों raise किया होगा? क्योंकि 3 months में approval लिया है या नहीं लिया है, that was the concern, that must have been the concern of the shareholders. Now appointment of the first option क्या है? The appointment of the incoming auditor should have been approved by the members within 60 days. No, not within 60 days, but within 3 months. So this option is incorrect. नेक्स्ट इज अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ इनकमिंग ऑडिटर शुड हैव बीन अप्रूव्ड बाय सेबी. नो, सेबी की से अप्रूवल लेने की जरूरत नहीं थी, मेंबर से ही लेना था, शेयर होल्डर से ही लेना था, बट विद इन अ पीरियड ऑफ 3 months. सो सी ऑप्शन है, द अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ इनकमिंग ऑडिटर शुड हैव बीन अप्रूव्ड बाय द मेंबर्स विद इन 30 days, नॉट 13 days. It has to be approved within a period of 3 months from the date of such appointment. So the correct answer in this case is going to be D. Right? बहुत easy question था. Now, looking at the above appointment, what is the appropriate inference which you can make about the professional ethics of QS and associate chartered accountants? तो यहाँ पर हमने पढ़ा था कि professional misconduct हो गया. Why? Because they have not communicated their appointment to the previous auditor. So in this case, they are guilty under first schedule part 1 clause number 8. Let's see what options they have given. तो clause 7 दिया हुआ है, clause 8 दे रखा है, clause 8 दे रखा है, and they are not guilty. Not guilty तो बिल्कुल गलत है. clause 7 भी गलत है. This is not with respect to दिस clause 7. सो इस केस में, और दैट टू सेकेंड शेड्यूल का तो बिल्कुल नहीं. तो यहाँ पर ग्रॉसली नेग्लिजेंट वाली बात नहीं थी. यहाँ पर जो बात थी वो थी फर्स्ट शेड्यूल पार्ट 1 clause 8. सो दिस इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. फर्स्ट शेड्यूल, यहाँ पे सेकेंड शेड्यूल दिया हुआ है, इसलिए ये भी गलत हो गया. सो द करेक्ट आंसर इन दिस केस इज गोइंग टू बी बी. अगर आपको प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स के क्लॉजेज याद हैं, क्लॉजेज में पता है क्या कंटेंट है, तो डेफिनेटली दिस वुड हैव बीन एन ईजी ऑप्शन और ईजी क्वेश्चन टू आंसर, राइट. सो थर्ड क्वेश्चन आंसर इज बी. I hope you are participating and enjoying solving the questions with me. In case you are, please give this video a big thumbs up. Okay. So let's move on to the next question. Whether CARO is applicable to Messrs FGH Private Limited? If so, why? So if it's not applicable, it's not applicable. Why? Because the limit of paid up share capital is not exceeding 1 crore. So let's see which option they have given. So if whether this is applicable, no, it's not applicable. तो yes वाले options आपके automatically क्या हो जाएंगे, गलत हो जाएंगे. Now let's read only option number A and D. A option is no, since as per para 1 of CARO, It is not applicable to any private limited company. No, it is applicable provided the limits are exceeding. Now, no, since the total paid up share capital and reserves of the company does not exceed rupees 1 crore. So yes, the correct answer is D. Okay, so the first option was correct, that no, car is not applicable, but the reasoning was incorrect. That is why option D is correct, right? Let's move on to the, okay, so this was all about case study number 15. The case scenario was also small in size, and the questions were also very less, right? So we completed it in quite less time as compared to the case scenarios which we have already covered. Okay, now let's come to case scenario number 16. So case scenario number 16 is TMRT Retail Limited, it's a public company, is engaged in the business of retail. The company follows financial year 31st March. Okay, the company also plans to get listed in India in the next 4 to 5 years. Okay, during the financial year ended 31st March 2018, the management had noted extraordinary shrinkages of inventory at one of their stores. Post examination or analysis by the in-house inventory shrinkage team, the management came to know about the fraud of rupees 19 lakhs by the employees of the company, comprising of head cashier and the public relations officer. Okay, so there is a fraud on the company. जैसी fraud सुनती हो ना, तो मुझे auditor के point of view से SA 240 and section 143 subsection 12 and कारो के अंदर clause number 10 याद आ जाता है of para 3. जब भी आप फ्रॉड पढ़ो ना, आपके दिमाग में तीनों चीज़ें आनी चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर ये तो चलो MCQ है, बट अगर आपको ये डिस्क्रिप्टिव क्वेश्चन कर रहे हो एंड दैट इज रिलेटेड टू फ्रॉड, तो हमेशा फटाफट ये तीन चीज़ें आपके दिमाग में होनी चाहिए, एंड यू हैव टू सी व्हाट इम्प्लीकेशंस आर गोइंग टू बी देयर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दीज थ्री. उससे आपका आंसर बहुत अच्छा बन जाएगा एंड यूल बी एबल टू गेट अ गुड कंटेंट फॉर राइटिंग द आंसर. राइट, लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट पैरा. TMRT has a joint venture, DT Limited, which is engaged in the business of trading of goods. DT Limited appointed a new tax auditor for the financial year ended 31st March 2018. DT Limited follows calendar year, that is year ending 31st December, for the statutory reporting after obtaining requisite approvals. The appointment of the new tax auditors was done after 31st March 2018. Okay. Now, for the financial year ended 31st March 2019, TMRT had PQ and Associates as the GST auditors. However, the management of TMRT is not happy with the work of PQ and Associates and hence wants to bring in new GST auditor. For the reporting year ended 31st March 2020, TMRT's management plans to have BKP and Associates as their internal auditor. BKP and Associates also happen to be the statutory auditor. So there is a problem. Why? Because the statutory auditors cannot be the internal auditors. तो यहाँ पर लेकिन वो गलती कर रहे हैं. Let's see. However, the management has been advised by the consultant that it cannot appoint the statutory auditors as their internal auditors. बिल्कुल ठीक बोला. Because it would lead to issue of independence. Similar to internal auditor, the professional ethics do not allow GST auditor to be the statutory auditor of the same entity. No, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. Right? Let's move on to the next question. BKP and Associates have been auditing TMRT for the last 3 years and had considered management override of controls as fraud risk and revenue recognition as a significant risk for TMRT. Okay, so this is important. BKP and Associates are evaluating whether they should drop both the management override and revenue recognition as significant risks for the financial year ended 31st March 2021, considering that they did not find any problems and observations in respect of these two items in the past years and their reports have been clean for the last 2 years. See, अगर last 2 years में clean report है तो उसका मतलब क्या ये है कि इस साल की भी ऐसे कोई factors नहीं होंगे? No. We should always check कि इस साल उसका क्या effect आ रहा है या इस साल ऐसा कुछ exist कर रहा है या नहीं. पिछले साल नहीं था, बहुत अच्छा, पिछले साल की report पर उसका effect नहीं आया, बढ़िया. But for the current year we need to check कि इस साल उसका क्या effect है, क्या implications आ सकती हैं, क्या वो exist कर रहे हैं या नहीं. So यहाँ पर वो लोग थोड़ी सी गलती कर रहे हैं. Let's see. On the basis of the above mentioned 4 facts, you are required to answer the following MCQs. First is, in respect of fraud identified by the management, what shall be the reporting implications on the part of the auditor? So since the amount of fraud, if you see, the amount of fraud is not exceeding 1 crore. So यहाँ पर CG को report करने वाली बात नहीं आएगी. CG को report करने वाली बात नहीं आएगी, but you will have to report this in your CARO and your main report. ठीक है. Let's see what options they have given. Auditors would need to report the fraud on in their CARO report. बिल्कुल ठीक है. Clause 10 है इसका. क्लॉज 10 ऐसे ब्रैकेट में डाल देते हैं, नहीं तो क्रॉस लग रहा है. Further, they also need to evaluate whether their report on IFC, that is internal financial controls, and the main report should be qualified or not. बिल्कुल सही, ये बिल्कुल अच्छा पॉइंट लग रहा है. Still we are going to read the other three points. Considering the materiality, the auditors may consider not to report. Materiality की बात कहाँ से आ गई भाई? 19 लाख रुपीज़ को आप मटीरियल नहीं मानोगे क्या? और फ्रॉड हो रहा है तो फ्रॉड की रिपोर्टिंग तो करनी पड़ेगी. Not report this matter anywhere. This is also because of the fact that management has identified this. No, management identify करे तो management से पता लगने पर auditor को भी इसकी रिपोर्टिंग करनी है. ठीक है. Auditors would need to qualify their main report as well as their caro report. तो यहाँ पर अगर हम देखें तो दे हैव मेंशन कि उनको क्वालिफाई ही कर देना चाहिए दोनों रिपोर्ट्स को, तो नहीं, आपको चेक करना चाहिए कि आपको इसको अपनी ऑडिट रिपोर्ट में क्वालिफिकेशन देने की ज़रूरत है या नहीं. क्लॉज 10 में तो इसकी रिपोर्टिंग जाएगी क्योंकि वहाँ पर आपको फ्रॉड्स जो भी आइडेंटिफाइड होते हैं वो बताने पड़ते हैं, उसका नेचर अमाउंट बताना पड़ता है. बट मेन रिपोर्ट में इसका क्या इम्पैक्ट आएगा वो आपको चेक करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है. नाउ ऑडिटर्स नीड टू क्वालिफाई द मेन रिपोर्ट एज वेल एज कारो रिपोर्ट. तो यहाँ पर भी वही चीज़ हो गई जो गलत हो गई. पर दे वुड ऑल्सो नीड टू रिपोर्ट अबाउट दिस मैटर टू ऑडिट कमिटी. नो, देयर इज नो रिक्वायरमेंट बिकॉज द अमाउंट इज less than 1 crores. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So the correct answer in this question is A. Next is question number 2. The management of DT Limited did not carry out physical verification. Okay, physical verification नहीं किया है inventory का for the year ended 31st March 2018. What could be the reporting implications on the part of tax auditor? Tax auditor की बात करें तो tax auditor को clause number 14 के अंदर क्लोजिंग स्टॉक से रिलेटेड चीज़ें देखनी होती हैं. उसके लिए डेफिनेटली ही नीड्स टू सी व्हाट स्टॉक वाज एग्जिस्टिंग ऑन द क्लोजिंग डेट, दैट इज 31st March, बट द फिजिकल वेरिफिकेशन हैज़ नॉट बीन डन बाय द मैनेजमेंट. Since the tax auditors and the management did not carry out the physical verification of inventory as of 31st March 2018, tax auditors should report on the basis of statutory audit report of the same period or the last audited period as applicable. तो यहाँ पर अगर हम देखें तो टैक्स ऑडिटर को क्या करना चाहिए? टैक्स ऑडिटर को इस चीज़ का इफेक्ट अपनी डेफिनेटली रिपोर्ट पर डालना चाहिए. ही विल डेफिनेटली व्हाट ही इज़ गोइंग टू डू इज़ ही इज़ गोइंग टू क्वालिफाई हिज रिपोर्ट, राइट. एंड ऑल्सो ही नीड्स टू सी कि स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर ने इसको कैसे डील किया हुआ है, क्योंकि स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर्स ने तो फिजिकल वेरिफिकेशन से रिलेटेड रिपोर्टिंग की होगी जब मैनेजमेंट ने फिजिकल वेरिफिकेशन नहीं किया है. तो क्या स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर्स ने कुछ इससे रिलेटेड लिखा हुआ है अपनी रिपोर्ट में, क्या रिमार्क्स डाले हैं? दैट नीड्स टू बी कंसिडर्ड. ठीक है. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल टैक्स ऑडिट रिपोर्ट तो आपकी क्वालिफाई होगी, राइट. Now, it is a common practice to appoint tax auditors after the reporting year end, and in such case, tax auditors should carry out the physical verification after their appointment and roll back procedures in respect of inventory. Accordingly, no reporting requirement. No, there is no such provision like that. टैक्स ऑडिटर्स वुड नीड, क्योंकि 31st मार्च को तो करना ही पड़ता ना, मैनेजमेंट ने भी तो नहीं किया, जो कि गलती है. मैनेजमेंट को करना चाहिए था, मैनेजमेंट की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थी. इस केस में कारों में भी रिपोर्टिंग हुई होगी इन्वेंट्री से रिलेटेड, तो डेफिनेटली स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर्स की रिपोर्ट देखना बहुत अच्छा बनेगा इस केस में. The tax auditors would need to evaluate the nature of inventory. Further, the management should give a note in respect of this matter in the financial statements, basis of which note. देखो रिपोर्टिंग तो करनी है, रिपोर्टिंग तो होगी किसी भी सिनेरियो में, तो इधर ये पॉइंट भी गलत हो गया. Since the tax auditors and the management both did not carry out the physical verification of the inventory as on 31st March 2018, the tax auditors will need to qualify the tax audit report. ये बिल्कुल ठीक लिखा है. Tax auditors would also evaluate how the statutory auditor has reported this matter in his auditor's report. तो दोनों बातें बिल्कुल ठीक है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल he'll have to qualify and secondly he'll check कि statutory auditors ने क्या दिया है. तो फर्स्ट पॉइंट में उन्होंने ये तो बोल दिया था कि हमें statutory auditors रिपोर्ट को देख लेना चाहिए, बट उसमें ये चीज़ नहीं लिखी थी कि क्वालिफाई कर देना चाहिए अपनी रिपोर्ट को. ऑल्सो उन्होंने लिखा था कि सेम पीरियड की या लास्ट ऑडिटेड पीरियड, नॉट लास्ट ऑडिटेड पीरियड, हमें तो सेम पीरियड की चेक करनी पड़ेगी ना, तभी तो इसका इफेक्ट पता चलेगा. So that is why the option A was incorrect and option D is correct, right? Let's move on to the next question. The management of TMRT needs your advice in respect of appointment of common auditor both for statutory audit and internal audit. तो यहाँ पर तो definitely नहीं बन सकता internal auditor. Section 144 में बताया हुआ है कि कौन से मैटर्स पर restrictions हैं. The auditor, statutory auditor cannot provide such services. So management has been advised correctly. Statutory auditors of TMRT cannot become the internal auditors. तो बिल्कुल सही लिखा हुआ है. तो has not been advised, तो ये तो गलत है. has not been advised correctly, ये भी गलत है, because the advice given was correct by the consultant. So इसमें लिखा has not been advised properly, तो ये भी गलत है. तो करेक्ट ऑप्शन ऑब्वियस सी बात है ए हो जाएगा. मुझे पढ़नी नहीं पड़ेगी क्योंकि फर्स्ट लाइन ही इनकरेक्ट थी ऑफ ऑल दी 3 ऑप्शंस, राइट. सो द थर्ड क्वेश्चन, फॉर द थर्ड क्वेश्चन करेक्ट आंसर वुड बी ए, राइट. Let's move on to the next question. Please advise BKP and associates whether it would be appropriate to drop management override of controls and revenue recognition as significant risk for the financial year ending 31st March 2020. No, this would not be appropriate. So that is why the answer would be not appropriate. It would be appropriate वाली चीज़ तो काट दो सीधा. फिर इसमें लिखा है दोनों चीज़ों में से अब आप बताओ कि कोई भी वो ड्रॉप कर सकता है. नो, both of them have to be considered. Now check करते हैं which option is correct. Management override of controls and revenue recognition should continue to be the significant risk of for the financial year ending 31st March 2021 if that continues to be if it continues to be significant at inherent level. तो बिल्कुल सही लग रहा है ये ऑप्शन. फिर भी हम दोनों ऑप्शंस और पढ़ लेते हैं एक बारी. Management override of controls should continue to be significant risk for the financial year ending 31st March 2021. Revenue recognition may not be considered. तो यहाँ पर ही गलत हो गया. Revenue recognition should continue to be the significant risk for the financial year ending 31st March 2021. Management override of controls may not be. तो यहाँ पर ये भी गलत हो गया. So both have to be considered and आपको देखना पड़ेगा inherent level पर वो significant है या नहीं. If they are significant, then of course you have to consider the same. You cannot drop that. Okay. So the correct answer in this case would be B. Let's move on. Okay, so yeah, that's all about this case study as well. So these two case studies were very small and very easy, I would say. So yeah, that's all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked the content, please don't forget to give a big thumbs up to this video. Check out the description box because a lot of video links have been mentioned there. And yeah, comment below your suggestions, feedbacks, whatever you felt after watching all these video series. And that's all for today. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and also subscribe to the channel in case you are new here. Okay, so yeah, bye bye.